Hey guys, Jay Nasty here. What is up, boys? How you guys doing today? So today I got a 21 kill game for you guys, playing completely solo, not in a pre-made squad, and one of my squad mates quit at the end. And if you guys watch the gameplay, you'll see my other squad mate's dead for majority of the game, and I bring him back at the end of the game, and you'll see why it was so important that I brought him back at the end of the game. But today's video is mostly about the gun of choice, the best gun in my opinion in Legends Apex, or Apex Legends, I should say, excuse me. And then later in the video, I'm going to talk about playing solo versus a party and some general tips for when you're playing solo and the struggles you're going to face, and probably the best champion for solos, in my humble opinion. But anyways, guys, first thing I want to talk about is the Wingman. And first thing that I want to talk about before the Wingman is I want to talk about your sensitivity. You guys need to drop your sensitivity in this game, and you need to drop your ADS when your ADS sensitivity. So when you're aiming down sight sensitivity, you need to drop that. I dropped it to 0.8, I believe. So I dropped my overall sensitivity, and then I dropped that to 0.8. I'm probably going to drop that to 0.7. So lower your sensitivity. Make sure you're on 400 DPI and go below the defaults 100%, and they'll help you out dramatically. One thing that's really hard in this game is when you're ADSing and staying track with people, and the slower sensitivity is going to help you a little bit more than you think. So make sure to drop your sensitivity, guys. Make sure you have a 400 DPI mouse. If you guys don't have a 400 DPI mouse or a big mouse pad, I'm going to put two links in the description. I'm going to put in my mouse that I use. It's a $40 mouse, wired mouse, and I'm going to put in like a $15 mouse pad for you guys. So if you guys are PC players and you're struggling, you don't know your DPI, which a lot of you guys might not, because you might have a basic mouse. This is a $40 mouse. It's very cheap. It's very reliable. I like it a lot. It's better than most products that I've used. I've used Zowie's, I've used SteelSeries, and I've used Razors. So just going to put that in the description for you guys. Trust me on it. It's really good. If you have big hands, I have big hands. I think my hands are like 8.5 inches. It actually works really well for big hands as well. But anyways, like I said, lower that sensitivity, lower all your settings. Your visual settings. I did that as well. It seems to help a little bit. If you guys don't know, I said in my last video, this game is very CPU intensive and very GPU intensive. It's a very demanding game. It's going to put a lot of stress on your PC, so lower all those settings and you might see a couple more frames. But anyways, let's talk about the gun at hand. The Wingman, guys, is probably the best gun in the game. It is the most versatile game. It's the most consistent damage gun in the game. And if you get the skull splitter and you get some headshots, you can two-tap people, which is actually insane. I recommend not going for headshots that much. I generally like to aim in the upper chest, and maybe I might get a headshot here or there. But if somebody's looting and you get those two headshots on, or you catch somebody off guard, which I've done multiple times in this game for some reason, where I'll be running around and people just don't react. It's an easy boom, boom, they're down. You can move on to the next enemy. So with the Wingman, it's just like I said, it's consistent, easy damage, and it's good from medium. I would say medium range. In this game, long range is really useless, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like when people have snipers, it's not that viable, because a lot of the times people are carrying a lot of shields. They're carrying a lot of health. If you have a lifeline on your team, you can just heal every 45 seconds or every minute. So the fact that long range isn't a big advantage in this game, so like a sniper's not that big of an advantage, up close and personal is generally more advantageous than being far away. Because if somebody has more resources than you, they're going to win in the long run. I've had games where I'm probably going to upload one tomorrow where I get an insane amount of damage, but I didn't get an insane amount of kills, if that makes sense. The most damage I've done in a game is 3,033, and I only got 17 kills. So this high kill game, 21 kills with 2,600 damage, is actually, in my opinion, impressive, because I'm playing to my strengths of my weapon. I'm playing to the strengths of the Wingman. I'm getting pretty close, medium range, killing people relatively quickly, healing quickly, moving on to the pushing the enemy after I get one down. So that's why the Wingman is so good. And a lot of times I like to combo it. You can combo it with some different guns, which is, I think, really awesome. If you like to rush and be aggressive, like super aggressive, or you're about to fight in a town, or you're fighting in a town, a Wingman plus an SMG or a Peacekeeper is actually pretty insane. I'll probably talk about my favorite combo tomorrow. That is actually, it just produces the most damage 100%. Especially with the right attachments, it's actually insane. I'm going to talk about that in tomorrow's video, so hopefully you guys will look forward to that. But overall, the Wingman and an SMG is actually a pretty good combo if you like to run and gun. If you guys want to stay, my favorite that I was using before I switched to this new one was I was using the Scout in the Wingman. I really like this G7 Scout. It's 30 damage a pop. It's a really good gun. It's just not very good far away for being a sniper rifle. That's more like medium to long. I would consider that, You know, I can't like put a number down in front of myself, but if they're not so far away, the scout is actually a really good gun to be with the wingman. It's a good combo in my opinion. It's not the best, but it's a top combo. Me personally, I don't like using the wingman super up close, just for the sheer fact that if somebody has an SMG and they have the stock on it, their strafing is pretty nuts, and it's hard to track that when somebody's strafing left to right, left to right, left to right. So that's why I personally don't like to use the wingman up close, and that's where you can complement it with the Peacekeeper. You can complement it with any of your favorite up close gun, and I'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. But overall, I really like the wingman, and I think if you have good aim, it's a go-to gun. I also have a gun for you guys. If you're not a very good aimer, I'll probably do that in tomorrow's video as well. But overall, guys, just some general tips. When you're in a gunfight, do not stand still. Make sure you're moving left to right, left to right. And also, if somebody's up close to you, don't be afraid to hip fire in this game. I do it quite a bit. And for some reason, it's kind of hit or miss, though, unfortunately, where I'll hip fire somebody 3 times in a row with the wingman, and then sometimes I'll just miss. So take that with a grain of salt, but in certain situations, I like to hip fire. Also, one thing that I've noticed that a lot of players don't understand when they're in these gunfights is your health and shield are everything. So make sure you get a lot of med kits. Make sure you get a lot of the big shields that restore 100 hit points to your shield. Those are super important. What I like to do generally is if I get in a gunfight and if I have half my shields, let's say I have a legendary chest piece and I have that 4 extra shield. If I have 2 shields remaining, I'm pushing. If I have no shields, I'm going to pop one of those big shields and then I'm going to move on. What a lot of people do in this game and a lot of bad players do in this game is they don't understand that health in the bottom left corner is more important than anything else in the game. I don't care how good you are. I saw a clip of Ninja earlier on the Apex Legends Reddit where he has like 20% of his health left and he's challenging. You don't want to do that. You're just an easy one-shot for most guns. And if an enemy is using the wingman is going to be super popular, by the way. It's going to be the go-to gun of everybody. Everybody's going to be rocking the wingman. That's a one-shot with the wingman. That's very easy to get your first shot off with the wingman. So I highly suggest you guys always focus in that bottom left corner. And one thing that I also want to talk to you guys today about is playing solo versus a party. So in a party, this game, you can obviously communicate to your teammates. You can ask them, hey, revive me now, revive me now. There's certain points in the game where there's certain games, in my opinion, where you probably could have got revived, but if you're playing solo and they don't communicate well, where they're just going to let you die or they just don't understand like when to do it, and maybe they don't like a backseat gamer. But when I was playing in a party last night, you know, I can see with my eyes when I'm down if there's an opening. If you knock somebody on the other team down, generally most people like to res their teammates that are down. So if you knock somebody, say it's a 2v3 and you're playing with you're in the 2 party and you're going against a 3 party and you knock somebody down and your teammate's down, good chances are that you're going to be able to revive your teammate. Most people don't really like to push in this game for some reason. They don't like to play aggressive. The best playstyle, in my humble opinion, is playing very recklessly and very aggressive, and it just catches a lot of people off guard because they're just not used to it. Especially if you're strafing left to right, a lot of people can't land those shots. But playing solo is it's frustrating in this game because people just don't listen and they don't cooperate a majority of the time. In this gameplay that you guys are going to see, as you guys saw, my first teammate, one of them down. I could have got his tags. What does he do? He leaves the game. My other teammate, he's down. And one thing that I revived him after the first time he went down. And then the second time he goes down later in the game, I kind of just ignore him. You know, I know he's not that big of an asset to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to revive him when I feel like it's appropriate, if that makes any sense to you guys at all. I'm not going to make him a priority when he's not a priority. Now, some people will get mad at you for doing this. I had a guy get mad because I was at like 20% health and I started looting for, you know, meds and stuff and healing up. And some guy called me a jackass. And I ended up dropping 17 kills that game. And he dropped like 2 kills. You know, you got to ignore the people. There's some people that are going to have mics and they're going to be, you know, telling you what to do. Hey, revive me. Hey, revive me. Hey, revive me. And most of the times, they're not an asset to your party or to your ability to win the game. Like, I kind of prioritize myself over everybody else in the party, especially when I'm playing solo. You know, I'm not going to be as cooperative. I'm not going to give them the loot that they need. You know, I'm going to kind of be selfish. If I know I'm a good player, I'm going to be selfish. And I think that's what you need to do if you want to carry these people, because, you know what? They're going to need to be carried. If you think about it, they're needing you to carry them. So that's my biggest pet peeve. Also, Lifeline is really good in solos. If you're playing solos, because you can revive your teammates behind the shield, you can drop them health. A lot of the times, for some reason, I don't know why this is, but a lot of the times your teammates can never heal themselves with shield or health. It's really, really strange how they have their setup in their bags and stuff like that. So generally speaking, prioritize yourself over the party. If you're playing solos, pick Lifeline. She's really, really good in party situations, especially in solo situations where you can revive your teammates behind walls. And that generally is how I like to play. Be selfish. You have to be selfish. And a lot of times on PC, I don't know why this is, but half the people have mics, half the people don't. And then half the people that have mics just don't listen and just are really slow. The best way to play this game and the most enjoyment that you guys are going to have is playing really fast. Get your guns, kill the people around you, and then move and move and move. Once you hear gunfights, you got to think about it. You're third partying other people, and that's what allows you, that allows you to have that advantage. When you're playing aggressive and you start hearing shots, that's an easy third party. That's an easy fight. A lot of times, half their team's going to be down. They're going to be weak. They're not going to be in a good position. They might be in a building. Throw your grenades, throw your thermites, etc., etc. So that's just my biggest tips. Also, that Wingman, like I said, guys, try it out. It's really good. And when you get the skull splitter, with the one thing that you want to prioritize on the Wingman, by the way, guys, I forgot to mention this, is extended mags. You want the extended mags. You want the legendary extended mags. So generally what I like to do, I like to rock 2 heavy guns. So if I have a flatline, generally what I like to do, if I have an extended mag for one or the other gun, I always put on my Wingman. Prioritize your Wingman over any other gun in the game, in my humble opinion. Also, you want the skull splitter. Like I said, I don't aim for the head really. I generally aim for the chest. And sometimes I'll get that headshot, which gives me that little RNG headshot, which is super, super important. Also, another thing that I want to talk about is the legendary digital, what is that? Scope is very, very good, especially in smoky situations. If you have teammates that are Bangalore and they can throw down some smokes, it's actually insanely good. And it's just a really good, it makes the gun a lot better up close, if that makes any sense, because it outlines the enemy's body and it's just easier to hit. So just wanted to throw that out there. Also, one more thing, by the way, this game, it's 21 kills. I didn't even know about the last squad, by the way, the last guy in the squad. I thought I won the game when I got my 20th kill. But there was one more guy alive and I had no fucking clue at all. And this game, by the way, only lasted 15 minutes. Not even 15 minutes, and I dropped 21 kills. Imagine if it lasted 18 minutes or a little bit longer. Maybe could have had a possibly record-setting kill game recorded for you guys. But the game ended extremely fast in less than 15 minutes. Generally, you have some games that go on to 19, 20 minutes tops on the higher end. So 15 minutes is pretty short in my opinion to drop 21 kills. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the fast-paced gameplay. Hopefully you enjoyed the tips I give you, especially playing in a solo party. Be selfish. Always be selfish in these solo parties. Unless they have mics, unless you know they're good players by their stats at the beginning of the game. Just an FYI. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to drop a like. I'll see you guys later. Peace.